One of the things that we talk about a lot is grace. Just what is grace and how do we define grace? Grace is a free gift. It's often described in terms such as unmerited, undeserved favor. And so, how do we look at grace? Well, let's rewind to the Old Testament and how the Hebrew Bible defines grace. In Exodus 34, the biblical authors use gracious to capture one way that God describes himself. But what does that mean? Well, grace is beauty. Grace is beautiful. Understanding God's grace in the Bible starts with unpacking how God himself used the word. And so in Proverbs 3:22, they use God's wisdom and compare it to an ornament of grace, adorning one's neck. Grace is also favor, a privilege given to someone. For example, Genesis 39, the life of Joseph. Joseph was a slave who found favor in the eyes of his master Potiphar. And again, every time life looked down for Joseph, he remembered that God was with him. He worshiped God wherever he was, and he was filled with grace and favor everywhere he went. And so we know that God is full of grace. We know that God is absolutely gracious toward us, and there's nothing that we've done to earn it. There's nothing that we do to merit that characteristic of God toward us. However, it's God's desire to lavish that upon us. And so, what is God's grace in the Bible? It is an action as well as the essence of God's very nature. He always shows us favor, even when we betray him, even when we fall short, even when we sin. It is God's essence and his character. Throughout Scripture, we see that the God of the universe is always trying to find ways to reconcile with a hard-hearted, fearful, hurting, frail humanity. He loves us, and because of that, he gives us the best of who he is, and that is his grace. Hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you soon.